thought it was such a fun concept and a way to keep yourself accountable. And you don't have to post it on socials. You can just keep it for yourself. Having a visual reference to know these are some things that I want to get done. And at the end of the year, being able to like, did you do the thing? Did you did you work out consistently? Did you move your body consistently? Did you drink your water? Did you mind your business? Did you stay accountable? Did you stay disciplined? Did you stay consistent? All of the things that you desire to do, did you do them? And if not, how are you working to continue to actually get it done? Hello, loves. Welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Marquise. And if you are not, well, hello. I know it's been a few months. More on that probably in another video. As you can see from the title, a change gon' come. Oh, yes it is. It's been too hard living. But baby, last year, I don't know about you, last year was like a year of survival for me. It felt like survival and discovery. This year, I do feel like I'm just in the focus and the mindset of like, let's thrive. I'm done with just like the survival mode. I have to thrive. I am focused on my glow up this year, and I'm going to be sharing a few tips with you all that I plan on incorporating. This year, I am feeling prepared to face the challenges, to go with the flow, but also be more of an effective planner, but knowing that like things are going to change and it's okay. Like sometimes I really have to remind myself, like, it's okay, that's life. Things change. What I'm going to be doing differently this year as opposed to other years is planning in quarters. Normally I get my planner. This one is the one that I have for this year. Got it from Target. And I sit down and I put in like all the things that I know are going to happen this year, whether like specific events, birthdays. Then in the planning, I also try to narrow it down to the goals and desires that I have and want to achieve. But this year I felt rather overwhelmed because I have a lot of creative endeavors on my docket. And it feels like a lot. In order to efficiently get these things done, I know that I need to have more of an effective planning strategy. So I heard of this little hack that people are doing, it's just new to me, that they're planning in quarters. So instead of just taking on the chunk of the whole year, they take on the chunk of the quarter, even just starting for this first quarter of the year. My goals felt a lot more manageable and easier, like just more accessible in my mind to figure out like, how do I take this large goal or these seemingly this large goal that I have and narrow it down to these small chunks that I can actually figure out how to maneuver effectively. The idea also intrigues me because it allows me to consider how I can make adjustments. And I think in planning previously and taking on the whole year, I always kind of felt like I spent all this time planning this whole thing out for the whole year. How do I break this down into bite-sized pieces so I don't feel overwhelmed? As I continue to mature, I'm learning how to just accept more parts of myself and like, then how do I work with it? You know, how do you work with yourself and your reality and your truth? So this is my first step in how do I work with myself and minimize the potential to be overwhelmed. I love the fact that I can go back and look at the quarter and see what worked, what didn't work, and then move into the next quarter knowing that I can make any adjustments that are necessary. In addition to this planning, I also started making vision boards. Do you guys make vision boards? I've heard of people making vision boards before. This is nothing new. And yet I just never took the time to do it until last year. Last year was the first time that I was like, you know what? Let me give this vision board thing a try. I sat down, cut out all the things and magazines and got all the clippings and things like that, put it in I had this like very creative planner that I was really excited to use, didn't continue to use it because it was just way too creative, way too much free space for me. That's another thing. You gotta really, if you are a planner, if you love a good planner, you love to write down your stuff, find a planner that actually works for you. Make sure you really like it. Like the last planner, I liked it because of like certain elements, but there are also other parts of it that I was like, I don't really know if this is gonna work for me, but I'm gonna give it a try. I think it's great to try to give things a try, that like to get yourself out of a comfort zone. And yet you also have to be honest with yourself. A part of the glow up. Being honest with yourself, but more on that later. So last year I created this vision board, cut out all the magazine clippings, sat down, took the time. As I was doing it, I was thinking, this feels like a major waste of time. And yet, I did that. And I was like, you know, something about it was actually kind of relaxing. And then I took it one step further, and then I made another vision board using Canva. Oh my gosh. I'm like, oh, okay, this is giving me a visual flow that I just didn't know that I needed. I think it's one thing to write down your goals and desires that you have for the year, for 5 years, 10 years, whatever it may be, but then there's something to actually associate a visual with it. Because I think in doing so, at least for me, in creating this vision board on Canva, I like pulled pictures from Pinterest. That was about to be a tongue twister. I pulled pictures from Pinterest, added them to my board, made a little collage. It helped me get an extra visual for some ideas that I have. Like, so sometimes certain aspects of my vision board will pop into my mind. It's like, oh, yes. Right now, I have this visual of this image of a couple laughing, and they're holding each other and laughing on my vision board. And it's things like that that like just randomly will pop in my head, or I have different quotes, or just different imagery that really helps motivate me to be like, ah, yes, just keep moving forward, keep working towards it, because that's what I want to see for myself. Like, if I have a picture, this woman doing like a book signing, and I want to be doing that same thing. So having these visual associations, I have found to be very enticing when it comes to reminding me of the goals that I have set for myself. Even in doing it online, what I liked about that, or at least using Canva to do so, I can save it to my desktop, I can send it to my phone, so I can save it there. It's just more accessible for me to see frequently and remind myself of what it is that I actually envision for the future. We need a vision, you know? Also, what I like about it, when you're looking at your current circumstances, sometimes it can be, and it's not what you want them to be, it can be discouraging. Having a visual reference of what you desire can help motivate you to be like, yo, this is what I really want. This is what I can imagine for myself right now. Being able to imagine yourself in more of an expansive realm outside of your current circumstances, if they are not what you desire them to be, is extremely empowering. So finding ways and the techniques that help you in doing so is what is the key. Being able to create a visual reference for myself, I found to be prime, because my current circumstances aren't what I want them to be. But knowing that I'm working towards something bigger, knowing that I can have more of a clear visual, and I think sometimes it's hard to imagine something you haven't seen before. But if you can find a visual reference that makes sense to you, that connects with you, then it is easier to put yourself in that. That's what I found. So if you haven't tried doing a vision board before, try it. Give it some time, and it's still early. Like, at this point, it's February, God willing. We have all these months ahead of us. Taking the time to set this stuff up for yourself is a part of the glow up. It is the patience and the time investing in yourself to get to your desired outcomes. Take the time, I promise. And it's actually kind of fun. Like, once you get into it, it's kind of fun finding all these pictures and things like that, and like creating a collage, and just be carefree with it. Like, make it make sense for you. Like, it doesn't have to make sense for anybody else. And that is also what I love about a vision board. It doesn't have to make sense to anybody else. As long as it makes sense to you, that's what's most important. Moving right along, next on my list is prioritizing self-care. A part of that is making sure that I'm consistently moving my body, whether that's going to the gym, going for a walk around my neighborhood, dancing, going skating. Like, these are a few things that I do enjoy doing, but it's like whatever it is that makes me feel refreshed. You know, sometimes it's so easy to like accumulate all this tension on our body and we have no idea, but moving our body consistently just gets a flow. Physical activity is one of the most important things that you can do for yourself, in addition to sleep and drinking water, one of the most. It helps improve brain health and weight management, reduces the risk of disease, strengthens your bones and muscles, improves your ability to do everyday activities, and helps your mood. Within prioritizing self care, I'm going to be focusing on getting better sleep. So that's putting my phone down sooner, making sure I'm actually ending work at a decent time, actually having a stopping point for work. Because I'm an entrepreneur and I really enjoy what it is that I'm doing, I have found that it is a struggle. Man, baby, yeah, I'm on a freaking struggle bus when it comes to put it down. Put the computer down, close it. Good night, night, night. So much multitasking that's going on, and yet not taking care of myself doesn't help. Making sure that I am prioritizing my self care is equally as important as the work that I'm doing. Like, it's one thing to love what I'm doing, but it's another thing to love the body that's doing it. I really need to, and I've been saying this for a long time, but really figuring out a a bedtime routine that I can stick to. That is my biggest challenge. That has been my biggest challenge. I am a night owl. Like, I've been a night owl since I've been a young little lad. I'm accepting of my reality, my truth. Yet I do need to find something that is more conducive to a healthy routine for myself. So, how do I manage and still be honest with my night owlness? That's not even a thing. How can I still be honest and in my truth of being a night owl and yet still take proper care of myself? I really enjoy reading before bed. Like, it's either like journaling or reading before bed. Both of those things I find to be very relaxing. Journaling before bed helps me just brain dump so I'm not going to sleep with these random ideas or things that I want to do or the work that I might want to get done. It's like, hey, just write it down. And I used to read before bed and I really enjoyed it. So I've been trying to incorporate that more consistently, and then also help me just get through the books that I want to read. Like, I'm the person that goes to the bookstore for one book, but I come back with like three. Like, ma'am, you gotta incorporate a routine so you can actually read these books. Another thing that has helped me as far as sleep is concerned is putting my phone on do not disturb. A good old D&D. You know, I've got different like focuses on my phone. I've got the iPhone so it can like schedule, it can just automatically come on. I have it scheduled. I have like different sayings for my focuses. Like, I have one that's called Rest My Love, and it's just to remind me of like, this is what I need to be doing. So when it comes on, like, if I am on my phone, it'll pop up and it says Rest My Love. And it's like, okay, cool. This is a good reminder that, hey, it's time to rest, my love. It's time to rest, baby. Another thing, if you're watching this and you too are an entrepreneur or working side gigs and side hustles, wanting to make that full time, is planning off days. That has been a struggle. Because the days that I'm like, I need like my body, my mind is like, okay, I need to just chill. I need to rest. I need to set it down. I'll do it and I'll feel a little guilty about it. I'll feel like, I should be working. I should at least spend an hour or two on this thing. And I need to get out of that. Like, it's not, I don't think that's healthy for me. I just don't think that's healthy. There was a point in my life where, like, that was not a thought process. It was very easy for me to take my time and relax myself. But these days, it's a lot harder because I do want what I'm working on. I want the goals and the desires that I have set for myself. So, in order to get it done, I need to do the work, you know, and it's okay to do that. And it's okay to feel that passionate about it. I know that. And yet, it is also okay to take off days. It's also okay to take off moments. I put in my planner for this quarter, picking a specific day out of the month and being like, hey, I'm just going to go take myself out on a solo date, or I'm gonna go take myself out and just spend the day doing something. And so it's not just relegated to just the weekend. Finding the time to actually take an off day to actually incorporate rest. Like, that should be another word for me that I add for this year is rest. But I don't feel like it's a year of rest for me. It's a year of perseverance, showing up, and diligence. Those are my words for the year. Scheduling off days or off times, I think, is going to be crucial for my overall progression because I can't get burnt out. Like, and it's so easy to do that with the noise of what needs to be done, but knowing that I'm doing something healthy for myself in the long run is what should be and what will be, I'm going to say, what will be my driving force to make sure that I actually do it. Because ultimately, I am needing to prioritize self care. In addition to self care, making sure that my mental health is where it needs to be, making sure that my mental health is taken care of is prime to progression and glow up. Like, if my mental isn't good, everything else is not good. Like, my body's not good, my spirit's not good. Like, it's just not good. So last year I took a pause on therapy, and with the transition from last year to this year, I know that I feel it. I'm like, I think I need to talk to someone again because I am going through the transition. I'm in a new relationship and I'm managing business. I'm trying to figure out my own life. I'm like, I moved. It's like so many different things and I feel it, you know, and this is my confession and accountability too, to make sure that I actually do it, because the last time that I was thinking that I need to talk to someone. It took me a long time. It took me like over a year to find somebody. And now I know again, it's like, hey, I'm feeling that urge again where like I just need to talk out some things. What I've learned about therapy is that there are people that they address different aspects of your mental. Having that emotional intelligence and wherewithal about yourself is also crucial to your glow up, to our glow up. Last but not least, in the realm of prioritizing self care, is staying positive, drinking my water, minding my business, staying disciplined, and staying consistent. Next on the list is nurturing my relationships. Fun fact about me, I am an introvert with extroverted ways. There's a word for that. Because of that, I really have to be intentional about scheduling quality time with my friends and family so that I can tend to my growing relationships. It's very easy for me to be like in my own little bubble, minding my business and drinking my water and going to my going to the gym and doing my routines and things like that, and kind of get lost in it. And I have noticed over the years that like the people, like my people, they feel some type of way about it, understandably so. So in making more of a conscious effort to actually schedule the time to reach out and have phone calls and go do things with my people is going to be very helpful in making sure that I can tend to my people. With the intention of scheduling quality time, I also recognize that I need to learn how to set boundaries for myself. Recognize that's what causes my anxiousness sometimes in socialization, because I don't know how to get off the phone. Like I'm that person that's like, yeah, you call me and if I'm available, I'm going to answer the phone and we're going to talk and I'm going to listen. I can be on the phone for an hour, 2 hours, 3 hours sometimes, and the conversation will be lovely. And then I'll get off the phone. I'm like, that was 3 hours. Like, I really only had time for 30 minutes, or I really only had time for an hour. But it was just so hard for me to get off the phone. So I need to, or even in hanging out, knowing like, okay, I only have time to go to lunch. I don't have time to do a lunch and then go to this and then do this. Being an entrepreneur, you've really got to manage your time effectively. And it's like no shade to my people, and yet it's also a part of my truth of like, how do I set appropriate boundaries for myself so I feel like I'm still giving to them and I'm also still giving to myself. I'm reading this book called Set Boundaries, Find Peace, and in doing so, man, I've realized like, oh, I've been blurring some lines. I know some people that have blurred some lines with me. I know family members that have blurred lines with me. I've blurred lines with both people, both sides of it. And I blurred lines for myself. So knowing that I need to set better boundaries, how to set better boundaries, also being okay, and we've heard this before, I'm sure you have too, being okay with saying no. It's okay to say no and let no be a full sentence. No, I'm not available to do so. No. it's and it's okay. Like that also was a challenge for me to say no, I can't make it. And it's like because of blah blah blah. You don't need all that. No, I'm unable to join. Thank you for inviting me. You don't have to give an excuse as to why you can't do it. Just to say, no, I can't do it, and stand in it and be okay with it. And if they're really your friend, they're really your people, they'll be okay with it too. If they're not, it'll let you know that maybe this is a conversation for a different time, but like there might be some adjustments that need to be made. I'm finding that as I mature and really looking at my relationship, how do I be more honest with my people? How do I be more honest with myself? And how do I really tend to the relationship that I have? As well as learning how to be open for new relationships too. And that's the only way that I really think that I'm going to be able to do that is by setting boundaries for myself. I used to feel like boundaries just felt so intense, ah, like it's just like, it kind of felt like a bad word, but it's not. It's okay. It really is okay to set boundaries for yourself, because if not, you're not being truthful, you're not being vulnerable, you're not really expressing yourself in a way that is honest to you. And the thing about our glow up, I'm putting us in this because you're watching this video for a reason. The thing about our glow up is that we have to be honest. We have to be honest with ourselves. We have to be honest with others. Stating my boundaries, sharing my boundaries with my people, it's also in learning how to be more vulnerable with my people. Being vulnerable creates stronger dynamics. It encourages intimacy and connection. It strengthens empathy. It really does help fuel relationships. Even in doing these videos, as I said, I am an introvert with extroverted ways. This is an extroverted way. Me having a YouTube channel, me sharing on social media, in writing this book that I'm working on. More on that later, but in writing this book that I'm working on, man, I'm really stretching myself and allowing myself to be vulnerable. And that too is like nurturing a relationship. It's not only a relationship with people who will read it, but it's a relationship with myself to allow me to be more vulnerable just in general, not only with others, but also with myself. That too is in nurturing. I'm just thinking about this. That too is in nurturing the relationships that I have. Not only the relationship with others, but the relationship that I have with myself. Oh my goodness. Just thought about that in this moment. Last point for this video that I will be incorporating for the glow up of 2024 is holding and keeping myself accountable. Accountability. This brings us back to the first point, which is planning and scheduling. So, writing it down. Another way to hold myself accountable is celebrating the wins, celebrating the fact that I accomplished a goal for the week. I think it's so easy for us to get in the wheel of doing the things that we need to do, but then we don't necessarily reward ourselves for doing the things that we did. Like, we have to find time to clap for ourselves. We have to take the moment to clap for ourselves. If not, like, we might be subconsciously expecting others to clap for us, but we're not even willing to clap for ourselves. So baby, clap for you. I'm clapping for you. Another way that I'm going to be holding myself accountable is knowing my why. This took me a long time to really sit in and really discover and also understand the importance of knowing your why. Why are you doing what you're doing? Are you doing it for accolades? Are you doing it for other people? Are you doing it for yourself because it's true to you? Knowing why you're doing something helps bring you back to it when things can kind of go awry, when you might get overwhelmed or you might put it down or you might feel stressed about it. It's like, but why are you doing it? So know your why. Another way of keeping ourselves. You love how I'm just switching this up from me to us to you to y'all to we. That's all of the above. We are doing this. But another way to keep ourselves accountable is by having an accountability partner. Like, who is your trusted person? Your trusted person that you can tell some of your goals and desires to, and it'll be received openly without judgment, without them infringing their things on you. Who is that person for you? And reaching out to them, being vulnerable with them to share, like, hey, these are some things I'm working on, and I would really love for you to be my accountability partner. Being vulnerable in that, I think, is so empowering because you're allowing yourself to, one, share. And another way, you're allowing yourself to let someone else in on what it is that you're doing so that they can check in with you. Making sure that it is a trusted person who too is like-minded or even has a mindset that you aspire to have. Let's say if discipline is a challenge or an area of opportunity for you, finding your close person or a trusted person who is disciplined, who can help you in those times where you're not the strongest at it, but you can watch them or they can talk to you to share their ways of being more disciplined. Whatever that looks like for you. Having an accountability partner can be a helpful way to stay accountable, to keep yourself accountable. There's a multitude of ways of keeping yourself accountable. These are just a few things that I'm going to be incorporating this year that I think are going to be helpful. Even having an accountability partner, like that is taking me out of my comfort zone. I'm very much so a person that likes, I will write it down in my journal, my planner. It's between me, my planner, and God. That's it. Allowing someone to be a part of the goals and desires that I have set, taking me out of my comfort zone. But we're talking about glowing up in 2024, and this is a part of it. So, hey now, thanks for doing this with me. You're helping me. We're helping each other, I hope. Another way to help keep me accountable will be through reflection, going back to my planner, assessing, did I get the things done that I said that I want to get done? Okay, if I didn't, why? If it didn't work out, how do I adjust and pivot so I can actually continue to move forward in what it is that I want to do? But Being honest and reflection can help keep me accountable, keep us accountable. I saw this video where this woman had like essentially, I'm gonna call it like an accountability video, where she made a video and she mentioned all the things that she wanted to get done, let's say for the year. I don't remember all the specifics of it, just the general concept. She made this video of the things that she wanted to get done for the year. And then she made another video responding to the original video that she made saying like, did we do this? Did you quit this job? Or did you still do this? Did you get this account? All these things. And I thought it was such a fun concept and a way to keep yourself accountable. And you don't have to post it on socials. You can just keep it for yourself. Having a visual reference to know these are some things that I want to get done. And at the end of the year, being able to like, did you do the thing? Did you work out consistently? Did you move your body consistently? Did you drink your water? Did you mind your business? Did you stay accountable? Did you stay disciplined? Did you stay consistent? All of the things that you desire to do, did you do them? And if not, how are you working to continue to actually get it done? Another aspect of staying accountable is knowing that it is one day at a time, one task at a time, and showing up for yourself. Going back to discipline and consistency, but showing up for yourself. Show up. I have to show up for myself. And that's going to look different in the variances of life. But knowing that I have to show up, be diligent, be consistent, be disciplined, and reflecting, making sure that you are being honest in your reflection. Because you can lie to everybody else, but it doesn't help you to lie to you. You can't even lie to you. Because even when you try to lie to you, you know, there's one thing about being like delusional in imagining, let's say imagining a life that you desire to have that you don't currently have, and working and being in that. Like, hey, this is where I am. You might not currently be there, but this is where I desire to be. And it's another thing to actually lie to yourself. And it's like, yeah, I did the work that I need to do in order to get there, but you actually didn't do the work. You know, we can't lie to ourselves. In the globe, we can't lie. We are the ones that have to do the work. So being honest and showing up for ourselves. Let's live now like we already are who we desire to be. That is a mindset shift. We are the ones that set our own limitations. Let's stop being our own gatekeepers. We don't have time for that this year. We're glowing up this year. We're thriving this year. We're living in abundance this year. We're basking in abundance this year. I'm actually getting pretty excited because what I'm looking forward to is continuously showing up, being disciplined, being consistent, and at the end of this year, being like, yo, guys, do you remember? Do you remember how we started this year? And do you see where we are now? And yes, with that, there will be things that don't quite get accomplished, or they're not accomplished in the way in which we imagine them to be accomplished. And that's okay. Being able to look back at the end of the year, such and such was going on, or man, I was in that position and look where I am now, all because I showed up for myself, all because I was honest with myself, all because I took care of myself, all because I prioritized my self-care, all because I planned, I scheduled, all because I drank my water, mind my business, and stayed disciplined and consistent. Man, it's been such a long time. If you made it this far, thanks for hanging with me. If you want to continue our hangouts, don't forget to hit the subscribe button. Also hit the notification bell. Dang, dang, dang. Hit that thing. This has been swell. Until next time, keep your head up.